Hey everybody, it's TRIXXI'S. Welcome to the underground. All right, I want to talk about my weekend because I'm always working. I'm away. I'm a little late today, but at least I'm doing it. So I went to Saratoga Springs to do a home show. So of course I dragged my manager to Lake George because I've never been to Lake George. I wanted to shop in Lake George, and it was Winterfest, but it was crazy. I mean, there were so many lights, so I made him drive around, and I was like climbing, going through ice. I was like Julia Roberts and Aaron Brockovich trying to get that contaminated water sample. I wanted the good photo. And the view outside our window was like mountains, like snowy mountains. And then we went the next night, because we were only there for a couple days. We went to eat in an Italian restaurant, and there were fireworks. So figure that out. Winterfest and then fireworks. But it was so festive. I have to go there in the summer so I can have more shopping. I only had like a couple. You should have seen me. I'm like, Mark, block people's view. I'm taking off my clothes. There's no, dressing room or anything. And I'm right in like where the street is, where they can see. And I didn't care. It was so, I'm in my bra trying on things. Yeah, I'm like out of my mind. I don't know what's going on. Successful show. All right, let's get on with the news. I'm sure you guys are. Although one thing I want to tell you about that happened before. This was like last week. I forgot to tell you guys. I talked to these Trump supporters at work, and I was talking to this guy's wife, and then I talked to him because we kind of have a fun banter going on, and he's a likable guy, even if he likes Trump. And he's like, well, I want to do a threesome with you and my wife, with his wife standing right there. I was like, it wouldn't work because you're a Trump supporter. I keep telling him I don't want to sleep with him or his wife. I mean, I felt bad for his wife. He's yap, 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 and then she just doesn't talk. So, all right. On the way home let me just add this. I'm going to keep going. On the way home from our trip this weekend, my boss was so we were tired. It was like it took everything out of us because we had to break down and everything. And because we were in New York. I mean, we're just expanding into New York. He's going off the road at night. I mean, several times he'd go to the left, almost going to the guardrail. Then he'd go to the right, where they have that, like, wake up. And I was like, do you want me to drive? I mean, I'd rather trust my blind eyes with cataracts than him. I said, next time, ask me, I'll drive. I was like, when I got out of the car, thank you for not killing me. Unbelievable. Good news on the Washington Commanders front. As I was away, the Commanders signed Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. Yes, he gets hurt. I get it. He's out. Ooh, he's good. Good at running after the pass. And they got Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins. Wow. I mean, everybody's complaining. Yeah, they get injured. They're older. You know what? The Commanders want to win now. We were in the championship game. They want one good year out of these guys. So I'm excited. Gene Hackman passed away. I actually met him. I mean, I booked him for the show that I was on. And he was actually cool. He was kind of humble. My mom told me to tell him he was an actor's actor, and he was like very gracious about it. So he was found dead, and so was his wife and German Shepherd. I mean, that is strange, but no carbon monoxide. He's 95, so I guess, that's okay. I mean, he lived a good life, and I think maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking there was pills around. I'm thinking maybe she found him and killed herself. I don't want to say that, but that's what I'm thinking. But I remember him, I'm not that old, but old enough. I know he was in the French Connection, never saw it. And I saw him in Superman, obviously, and Mississippi Burning. He was a cool guy. I didn't know his father left him as a child. Bye. Can you imagine waving goodbye? I'm leaving. That kind of would stick with me if my dad left me. The things people go through in life. But look what he did. He turned it around and made himself a great actor. I mean, you can turn something bad into something good. That's what my sister always says. Turn a tragedy into something positive. Make something good out of it. Okay. Let's talk about Zelenskyy, because I didn't. My sister was like texting all these things. She comes from the kind of right side, not too right. She didn't vote for Trump, but she used to. And so Zelenskyy got invited to the White House to talk to Trump about the deal, about ending the war in Ukraine, and Trump threw him out. So the way I looked at it, because I was able to watch it over and over, because that's all they showed at night when I was home from the show, I feel like it was an ambush by J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is or I like to call him eyeliner Vance, overshadowed by Elon Musk. So he had to make a name for himself, and saying he was ungrateful and didn't thank the president for all the aid. I mean, really, the aid was given by Biden, and he did thank Republicans over and over and over. He had a better relationship with Biden because Biden wasn't an asshole. I mean, Trump, look, I get it. He's under pressure and he's got to be nice to Putin. A little too nice. He didn't treat Zelenskyy the same way. When he greeted him, I noticed he said, "Oh, you got all dressed up." Automatically a passive aggressive comment. Okay. So I didn't care about that. Trump likes people to kiss his ass. I'm not that type. Zelenskyy is a president and he's an ally of a democratic country. You don't treat your allies that way. He treats our enemies better. What kind of man does this? I don't know. But I would love to, did you see him treating Netanyahu like this? We give lots of money, lots of weapons to Israel, and we should. I get it. They're a democracy, just like Ukraine. And Zelenskyy was trying to say it's not going to stop on our borders, and he's right. You know why? Because he knows Putin. Trump is just Putin knows how to play him. He's KGB. Oh, you're such a strong leader, and that's all you got to do is pamper the guy, and he's in love with you. It's just he connotes weakness to me. He connotes weakness. I don't think everybody's oh, he's strong. No, bullies aren't strong. They're weak. So I just felt terrible. It gave me a sick feeling, and actually he did sign the agreement the day later. So I don't know. I don't agree with the way he was treated. Okay, Trump got what he wanted. Do you have to be such an asshole about it? I do blame JD mostly, because Trump probably liked that. He's oh, did you say thank you to the president? And it's just the funniest thing, though, was when the reporter asked Trump a question. He said, what if a bomb dropped on your head right now? I thought that was hysterical because he was worried. The person who asked the question was asking, what if Putin drops bombs after? And Trump's what if a bomb dropped on your head right now? Oh my God. It was so, he is funny, I have to say. I just think, he shouldn't talk because he's actually a convicted felon. I don't think he has moral ground. That's all. But he was so angry and the whole world got to see it, that's not statesmanlike, it's just, and Zelenskyy didn't back down. I give him credit. I don't believe that the Republicans, I watched that side too on Newsmax. They are judging Zelenskyy for not dressing up. What do you want him to do? Wear a dress? I'm sorry, but who cares? Trump wears a suit and could have gone to jail. That's the way I view people. He didn't use an interpreter though. Maybe his English is okay, but maybe it got lost in translation. So, but you could tell Trump was pushing on his shoulder a little bit, a little act of aggression, not pushing him, but going at him, his shoulder, and, definitely like this. Zelenskyy was you could tell it was aggressive. Okay, where are we going to go from here? Let's see. I just think China's watching and they could move into Taiwan. Putin did it. It's not going to stop. They're right. That could start World War III. I mean, Trump was blaming Zelenskyy. I'm telling you, he doesn't see far. He doesn't know what's going on. And Lindsey Graham telling him to resign. Oh, really? I mean, you should talk. I don't know what's going on, but maybe he should get a boyfriend. I don't get it. He says he was never more proud of Trump. It's embarrassing. And then Trump threatened to cut off military aid. And of course, Zelenskyy relented. He doesn't have the cards. Trump was right there. Okay, where are we going? Trump is selling gold dollar bills. I got the email. Yes, for $34 for a dollar bill. That's inflation for you. The measles was eradicated 20 years ago, but not anymore. RFK Jr. is in charge, and there's over 100 cases. Started in Texas, now it's in 9 states. I'm calling my mother, Ma, thank God she's not a Republican. Ma, did I get the measles vaccine? Because I got chicken pox when I was old. And I was it was like a shark attack. Every minute there was I remember calling the doctor and the nurse would go, yes, and you'll probably have another symptom in a minute. I was thank you for your comfort. Unbelievable. RFK Jr. saying it's normal to have this going on. And they're lying, of course. They're saying that they're quarantining them in the hospital. You don't quarantine measles patients, and the hospital had to speak out. So this is what we get when we have morons running things. Another insurance CEO's home was targeted. Shots were fired. There's some guy in it like a hoodie. They're. I'm telling you, watch out. Watch out. It's hunting season. The host of The View are reportedly being pressured. They're pressuring Brian, the producer, the executive producer, to lower their criticism of Donald Trump. Did you see Whoopi spit when she was mentioning his name? I don't think she should do that, to be honest with you. I believe in free speech and all that stuff. But they said morale is low at The View. They're losing, the people are losing their jobs. And I think, ABC, it airs on ABC. They're afraid of getting sued again because they had to settle with him. This is how it works. Trump is no dummy how to get people to comply. He's made the Republicans eunuchs. They're eunuchs. Qatar Airways, a passenger died on one of their flights from Australia to Qatar. A passenger collapsed and died during her 14-hour flight. That's what I get afraid of. You're up there. There's no help. What do you do? She just dropped. They were unable to move her, so they sat her down next to this couple. Can you imagine? I'm sorry, but you're going to have to be seated next to the dead person. No. You'd have to give me free flights for the rest of my life because I'm going to be traumatized. That's like Anthony Perkins' dead mother laying there. I don't think so. Okay, let's see. A man on Reddit shared his cancer diagnosis with his employer and was fired the next day. Is that legal? It's probably not legal. They're saying the lawyers or employment lawyers are saying, they count on you to back down because you have cancer and you don't want the stress. But I can't believe, my boss wouldn't do that. I know my boss wouldn't do that. Who would want to work for somebody like that? But you know what? That's common. It is common they don't want to pay for the health care. They don't want to pay for all the sick days that you're going to have when you're on chemo. That is nice. Welcome to the United States, guys. So Mark Cuban gave 7 reasons why healthcare is so expensive here. Number 1, you don't own your own data. Businesses sign with PBMs. Remember, Trump was supposed to end those. Pharmacy benefit managers. They can't see where their money's going. Okay. Number 2, employees don't have choice of drugs they get. Okay. So, of course, the PBMs again decide which drugs employees get. So, of course, they're going to want you to get the most expensive ones. And 3, specialty drugs are a pricing scam. PBMs mark up these price and employers pay more. So not only the employees are getting screwed, but the employers are getting screwed. Also, number 5, independent pharmacies get crushed. PBMs. What is the common denominator? They contract, reimburse independent pharmacies at lower rates than their actual costs, forcing them to close. Less competition, higher prices. And also, you know what they do? They keep the patents. Because I remember dealing with this on that show I used to produce. To prevent generic drugs from hitting the market, they want you to pay higher prices. Boy, we get screwed. And the last one. CEOs can't negotiate. PBMs ban direct negotiations with drug manufacturers, blocking better prices for employees. Number 7, you sign contract that silences you. NDAs. That's a PBM deal. So Mark Cuban has a cost plus drugs. That's what it's called. He eliminated PBMs. So he sells directly to the consumer. So check out cost plus drugs. I'm not doing a commercial for Mark Cuban. I love this guy. I really do. A company in China has threatened to fire employees who are single and divorced. Single and divorced. Are you kidding me? So only married people get to work. All right, go ahead. You going to pay me? If they don't marry by September, hurry up! Then they're going to get fired. This is what we're going to probably become. Are you kidding me or what? So employees who fail to get married by March will have to submit a self-criticism letter. Like, I'm a loser. I can't find anybody that wants me. If unmarried by June, you undergo an evaluation. Oh my gosh. That is so funny. Oh, it's not funny. What am I saying? So cats are at risk of getting bird flu now. Stevie, pack your bags. I'm sorry, but I don't want. You know why they hunt birds? Well, not mine. She's stuck in the house with me. Okay, one more thing before I got to talk about Jon Stewart. He was so nuts over Doge that he smashed his coffee mug on the desk and was bleeding to death on live TV, and he didn't care. He just kind of wrapped himself up. So he's talking about he should run for president or do what Elon Musk is doing because he actually cares. $3 billion of subsidies for oil and gas companies. Why aren't they talking about this? They're talking about cutting Medicaid for poor people. That's where they're going. Social Security. They're cutting like the elderly. Like, how evil do you have to be to talk about that when the rich profit like this? $2 trillion we give to defense contractors to build a fighter jet. I mean, I know we need stuff for the military, but I don't know. Close down the carried interest loophole with hedge funds. That's $1.3 billion a year. Do they talk about this? Never. Boy, he's good. And then we get our checks for $5,000. My sister, my boss, all saying Trump's going to send us checks for $5,000. That's if they save $2 trillion. Don't look in the mailbox yet. He called corporations profit-seeking psychopaths. Well, yeah. Pharmaceutical companies get tax breaks, research grants, patent extensions. I was talking about that to prevent generic drugs from hitting the market. This is nuts. You know, when I first got diagnosed, like in 2019, I had to go to CVS and get my drugs, and they were like $350. And I said, well, how am I going to pay my mortgage? Trixie figured it out. I figured it out. It's not that much now, but with Trump, it's probably going to go higher. But I'll just figure it out. You know, if I have to go drive an Uber, I don't know. So we get the highest drug costs. They're getting billions in subsidies and tax breaks. Biden announced Medicare cut could negotiate with I was talking about this on the show for like in 2015 with pharmaceutical. Why can't we just negotiate? Why can't we just negotiate for lower costs? So the pharmaceutical companies, this is what Biden signed before he left. They granted us 10 drugs that are cheaper. 10, you know how many drugs they manufacture? So like, here you go. Here's a bone. The 10 most drugs that are used, not mine. Mine wasn't in there. And he said, we're getting fucked at a Diddy party and they're making us buy the baby oil. He's so funny. Jon Stewart invited Musk to his show, and Musk accepted. I want to see this because he said, I'll accept as long as you don't edit it. I mean, you have to edit, you know, TV. I edit. In radio, I had to edit stuff. Okay, quickly before I could keep talking. I had to shut up. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Jennifer Tilly has caviar Caspia party. I don't know what Caspia is. They're making him wear some kind of weird robes. And Kyle was talking to her therapist and asked, what if I move on with someone else? And he sows his wild oats and wants to come back. And then the therapist said, that's the risk. So she didn't want to be alone. She's not alone. She's with Morgan. We're just not hearing it. She said she didn't want to be a single mom like her mother growing up. That's what she had. Her marriage was her greatest accomplishment. So yes, again, I feel that way too. If I got married, I wouldn't want to get divorced. You're stuck with me, damn it. You're not leaving. Going through the emotions, struggling, didn't fight for her. That's what she's saying. Mauricio didn't fight for her. He's easygoing. And Kyle feels she needs to move on. She's actually healing in process. Bo's told at 47 she has 2% of conceiving. She's got a few eggs left. Hurry up. Dorit and Sutton are about to kill one another over the handbag because Dorit went to take her handbag and she said, oh, thank you. And, you know, not really. She wasn't giving her the handbag, but Dorit was kind of joking, but not. I bet you she wasn't. Erica seems to like Jennifer Tilly. Doesn't get their friendship, Tilly and Sutton, because Sutton's a weird bird. Sutton says Dorit is jealous of her bank account. That is pretty awful to say. Dorit refused to wear a caftan. She was the only one, but they don't look good. And she's got a nice body. I don't blame her. Dorit didn't read the invite. She questioned why Sutton was drinking water and not vodka. Jeez, man. Sutton says to Dorit, pick on somebody who's whose wallet fits. Okay. Yeah. That's like such an insult, especially when she's going through that PK shutting her off. Ugh. Jennifer says to her and her sister Meg, remember Meg Tilly, Agnes of God, remember that? Are the only Chinese Americans both nominated for an Oscar. For the Oscars were on last night. Did you see Ariana Grande singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow? I was shivering through the whole thing. She made it her own. Of course, I didn't finish watching, so I don't know what's going on. I know she didn't win Best Supporting Actor. Erica, 10% Native, and then Tilly says she always wanted to be a Native American because Cher's not Native. Because of the song Half Breed, though. I kind of thought that too when I was 10. But, she's Armenian, of course. So, no one knew that Cher was Armenian at that table. These women don't get out much. They're just shopping. Sutton asked Bose, how many people do you have in you today? That's hysterical. How many people do you have in you today? That's why the vodka cracks. That's why they're asking. Erica says we can't fight. Food's coming. Hysterical. But those are the best fights when the food is coming. Sutton went back to the reunion where Dorit was asked if Sutton had a drinking problem. That's what the producers went backwards. And she said she didn't know. So she's suggesting Sutton's a drunk. Then Sutton came out with the pick on someone with your own, wallet size fits. And Erica stuck up for her. She said, you think you're bigger than her? And she said, yeah, my wallet is. And then Dorit drops the effing see you next Tuesday comment. And she's like, oh, she's not too big with a fat purse on her lap. Oh, my God. And that she said she married into wealth. That's true. Sutton got a huge divorce settlement. So it's not really her money. So she shouldn't talk like that, It's like, so at least Erica kind of sings and stuff. I mean, Kyle was an actress. They all have something. Sutton married into it. So what else? Let me see, just before I go. I am on Dorit's side with this. But Dorit asked for a mirror to hold up to Sutton's face. Tilly, I don't want these girls to get into caviar food fight. She didn't want them to waste the caviar. I would love to see that, though. Anything where food's flying. Dorit apologized. Sutton didn't get into it. She said she needs space. Faye Resnick said she drinks as much as Sutton. The morally corrupt Faye Resnick. Remember that? With Camille Grammer at that hell dinner party from Hell Party? When Camille called her because she posed nude during the O.J. Simpson trial because she was friends with Nicole. So Sutton called Dorit mean as hell. And that's the pot calling the kettle black there. What else? And then Dorit was talking to Kyle and then said, can you forgive her? And she said, when she balances her meds, she can come back and see me. Sutton insinuated Mauricio planted paparazzi at the airport because they were making out. He was making out with a girl half of Kyle's age. And Sutton said she saw Jennifer Aniston at that same airport and no paparazzi. I don't know. Maybe he might be a little pissed off underneath that she's with a girl. Who knows? Jennifer Tilly was a waitress at a Chinese restaurant. She worked her way through college. So she worked too. I mean, she's an actress. She got a good settlement from her husband, Sam, but yeah, the Simpsons royalties. Dorit doesn't follow her on Instagram. I wonder if she doesn't like Jennifer Tilly. Tilly doesn't think it's malevolent. That's the way she pronounced it. It's malevolent. Okay. Oh my God. Jennifer Tilly, just to end this now because I'm going on half an hour here. Jennifer Tilly guessed the average monthly mortgage was $87. Is she kidding me? Okay, $87. Well, she lives in California, doesn't she? Ooh, where is it $87? These people don't. It's actually $2,201. Oh, and then she said you don't have to pull out your vagina hair when you're in a relationship. Okay, let's end it on that one. You know what? I like vagina hair. I'm sorry to say that. I'm old school. If I see someone bare down there, I'm thinking, I'm with a kid. I don't like to think I'm with a kid. All right, too much information. Sorry, guys. I apologize if you're eating. Thank you for staying with me, and sorry I'm late. Next week I won't maybe be late. I don't know. I'm going somewhere. I don't even know what day it is. All right, bye.